Hello everyone, welcome to another Daily Gym. Today is Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. Today I want to talk about physical health is constant conflict. Well, yeah, that sounds good. So basically the concept of this is that feeling a little scratch in my throat and thinking about exercise I've been doing lately, last couple days, and thinking about like pulling a muscle and thinking about drinking water and thinking about having to urinate afterwards and all these different things, and just how so often what's happening with our bodies and our physical health, I think, is really just lots of different conflict happening at the same time. And so yesterday I talked about fighting through conflict to get to love, fighting through to the love. I think a lot of that is recognizing that conflict is pretty much constant in life in general. That I may want one thing and another person wants another thing, or internally I may want 1, 2, 3, 4 different things at the same time, not sure which one to choose. But just this inherent kind of things fighting against each other, kind of in the ecosystem, not fighting against each other, but just trying to go after what they want in the space of other wants. And if you think about the body, there are so many different factors operating in the body at the same time, so many different types of cells, so many different types of bacteria or viruses. There's like good bacteria or bad bacteria. Sometimes they talk probiotics and things like this. There are good viruses and bad viruses, or we like to claim that they are. But some of them are good and some are bad. Some viruses they think may actually protect us from certain bacteria. They have these thing called macrophages, which go in and pull apart bacteria. And that's not even looking at the different organs and how the organs may work together, but also compete against each other in terms of what they want. And there's a loud motorcycle in the background. And so just thinking about, the scratch in my throat and going, where is it coming from? Is it because I'm dehydrated? Is it because I have some virus that I caught? Is there some bacteria thing? Is it just exhaustion? Is it because I was talking too much or talking too little, where the voice didn't have a lot of that practice? Is it, what's going on? Is it the change in the weather? So many different competing factors or conflicting factors that it's really hard to know what's happening. We've made a lot of progress on this in science, where we can go get different tests, blood tests, urine tests, other things, swab tests to see if there's a culture or whatnot, or to do a culture and see if that's the problem. There's so much that we can do to get a better estimate, but there's still so many different things competing or conflicting with each other that's really hard to know what's happening. And I think this often happens in relationships as well, where there's really so much going on, but we assume, it's only this. No, there's just so many things. It's actually much more complex and complicated than it looks. But we may overlook that complexity and say, no, it's just very simple. This is what's happening. And I wonder if that attitude towards relationships also applies in our attitudes towards our physical health. That when we feel a specific thing, we go, I know, for example, my throat is a little dry and sore. I know I have strep throat, or thinking that it may be something else. So really just reflecting on that a little bit today. Not going to go too deep into it because, again, my voice is a bit hoarse. And wondering, how much is our perspective on conflict in relationships and the conflicts that we face in our lives? How much does that inform or maybe even come from the perspectives that we have on our bodies and how they function? Again, even labeling something as good or bad can show how we believe about the conflict, that we're taking sides. I am on this side and this is against me. And maybe the thing's not against me, and maybe sometimes it helps me. Sometimes it helps me stimulate maybe if I get sick, it helps stimulate the immune system. And by stimulating the immune system, it solves some other problems. I don't know. But just really curious about how sometimes with so much conflict, one of the best ways to help me through it is to just recognize that some things are so far outside of my understanding, and to try to recognize that there is a whole lot of complexity operating. And if I'm certain that something is coming from this one thing, then it's probably not, or at least it's probably not coming from that one thing with as much certainty. So as you can tell, I am tired and drifting off in here, so I will keep this shorter today and talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.